For those of you managing an e-commerce store, you know how important Google Merchant Center is to making or breaking your ad performance. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about the 3 things that you need to remember to optimize for your GMC to make sure that they perform at their best.
All right, number 1, you want to optimize your titles and descriptions. So a good format for that is you want to put your brand, your product type, key features, and then the size and the color. And then you also want to include high value search terms at the beginning of your titles. So you can probably use Google Keyword Planner because the reason why is people are kind of searching for these specific words. You want to keep your titles under 150 characters and preferably a little bit around 70 characters. You want to write unique descriptions for each of the products and include product features and benefits. And then for descriptions, you want to use natural language so that it seems like not an AI is writing this, and keep the descriptions anywhere between 500 and 1,000 characters. Your titles and descriptions are going to be your first impressions on Google, so make sure you write it so that people are attracted to it and it sounds like a human.
All right, so now that you have a great product description and title, let's go to the next part, which is the image. That's what's really going to stand out on the screen and catch your customer's eye. So there are a few requirements that you need to know when you are uploading your images. Do we want you drinking that in this?
That's fine. They could just cut you out or something.
Okay. Sorry, it was distracting me because I was like, I didn't know you were going to do that. Anyways, okay, so make sure you're using a high resolution image. We don't want anything blurry, and it must be 800 by 800 pixels. The next thing is that you don't want any text overlay on the image. You will most likely, highly likely, get disapproved for having text on your image. And then generally you want to have it on a white, clear background, so no like crazy patterns, gradients, that kind of thing, so that it really stands out on the page. Make sure too that the product is taking up 75 to 90% of the product frame, because obviously you don't want it like a little bitty tiny product and then like a big white screen. It won't pop as well. And then from there, something that we found helpful is to actually optimize the product names of like on the image that you save, so then it's easier to find when you are organizing your SKUs. And then the last thing is, of course, make sure the image actually matches the product that's being sold. Of course, people will be very confused if they see a pair of red shoes, but then they click and it's actually a red hoodie. So just make sure you double check that. Really making sure that you nail it on high quality product photos can really help put your store at the next level compared to your competitors. So please spend some time and effort on your product photos and your store will really shine.
All right, so now that you've optimized your titles, your descriptions, and your images, one big thing that we want to recommend is optimizing your categorization. So you want to create product groups that are based on product performances and categories. So you want to look at how each product is going and group them together in terms of how they're optimized. Include the age, the gender, and the sizes where applicable. And then you want to make sure you set up the conditions of your products, whether they're new or refurbished or used. And then you want to make sure that they're organized logically so that when someone's shopping through the campaigns, they kind of know where to navigate through your store. So when you properly categorize your store, it'll make it easier for people to kind of navigate and find the things that they want to find on your store.
Yeah, in addition to, it's easier for the search engine to understand what an object is, and so that it can basically show the object to the right person. All right, so now that your images have the right titles, the photos are looking great, and they're correctly categorized, how often should you come back and look at things? Well, we kind of broke it down into a few different stages. So at minimum, you should be doing a quick daily check. So this is like 5 to 10 minutes. Just make sure that your store is still running, that your products are not disapproved en masse, and basically make sure that everything is running smoothly. On a weekly basis, we recommend dedicating anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes just to double check and make sure that categorization is still occurring properly, that your Shopify or your WooCommerce product feed is connected correctly to your Google Merchant Center and it's feeding any new updates from your pricing to promotions and details. And then monthly, we do recommend setting time aside, maybe 2 to 3 hours, not a ton of time, to do a comprehensive review of your taxonomy, your categories, and any policy violations or disapprovals you might be having. And then quarterly, it is recommended that you do a 4 to 5 hour strategic review, really get into the nitty gritty of what is selling best on your Google Merchant Center, why is it, do any sort of title updates, do any sort of photo updates, just to make sure that everything is up to date as possible and that your Google Merchant Center is working correctly.
All right, so there you have it. That's how you optimize your Google Merchant Center. It's not easy, and it's not about just avoiding all of the disapprovals. You want to make sure it's well organized and easily navigatable for your customers. So we specialize in Google Ads, part of which is Google Merchant Center. So if you want a free audit, feel free to contact us. We specialize in helping e-commerce stores that make at least $50K per month and so if you guys want a free audit, feel free to reach out, and we'll see you next time. Peace.